Hi, Psych 3320 students. Let's talk a little bit about experimental designs and proposal number 2. So you have the feedback from me for your first proposal. I want you to use some of that feedback and fix the front end or the literature review and take into consideration a lot of my comments and my feedbacks to help you improve that. You can use the same research, the same line of research that you did for proposal 1 for proposal 2. I would rather you do that. My goal is to not make you conduct 2 separate literature reviews. Rather, I want you to be able to work with the same literature and design 2 separate studies. So the first one you designed was the correlational study, where we looked at the relationship between variables. The second study is going to be the experimental design. Remember, experiments are how we get at cause and effect relationships. So we can say what we did with the independent variable, what we manipulated, caused the differences that we see in the dependent variable between our treatment group and our control group. Okay, let's take a step back and talk about experimental designs. So with an experiment, we have at least one independent variable and a dependent variable. You know from further chapters, particularly complex designs, that sort of chapter, that experiments can get quite complicated. We can have multiple independent variables and factorial designs, 2x3s and 2x2s. You can keep it very simple and have one independent variable for your research proposal, your second research proposal. So the independent variable, we have at least one treatment condition and then a control condition. So in order to get participants into each condition, we have random assignment. By chance alone, participants are going to end up either in the treatment condition or the control condition. So by chance alone, they end up in the treatment condition. Let's say we're looking at the effects of violent television. I think I've used this example before. So we'll have participants watch 30 minutes of a violent television show in the treatment condition, and in the control condition, they watch 30 minutes of a non-violent television show. And then we're going to look at the end, let's say the number of aggressive acts they engage in afterwards. So the classic Bobo doll study. The Bobo doll is a weighted doll. Kids can hit it. It's great because it comes right back and they can smack it again. So we as researchers can count the number of times that they're going to strike this Bobo doll. So we make count every time they punch the Bobo doll as an act of aggression. So what we expect is that, or hypothesize, is that kids in the treatment condition, or the kids who are going to watch 30 minutes of violent television, will engage in more aggressive acts towards the Bobo doll. The control condition, those kids aren't going to be seeing aggressive action. So we should expect that at the end, the more aggressive acts will come from the kids who have watched 30 minutes of television. And that's a very simple research design. But it is an experiment because we have randomly assigned participants to conditions. Now, random assignment, why that is key, by chance and chance alone, participants are going to end up in the control condition or the treatment condition, by chance alone. That allows us to have roughly equivalent groups at the very beginning of our experiment. Let's say we allowed participants to make a selection about whether they want to watch 30 minutes of violent television or 30 minutes of non-violent television. We may have groups that are not equivalent if we let participants choose. More naturally aggressive kids may choose to watch the violent television. The more naturally non-violent kids may choose to watch the 30 minutes of non-violent television. We can't let participants choose. So by flip of a coin, chance, 50-50, heads, you watch violent television, tails, you watch non-violent television. That random assignment is critical for creating these groups that are roughly equivalent or as equivalent as possible prior to our manipulation. So if we have 2 groups that are as equivalent as possible, the only way that they're going to differ is in the type of television they watch. So then when we look at the number of times they hit the Bobo doll, our dependent variable, our measure of aggression, if it differs between our 2 groups, we are able to say watching more violent television caused more aggressive acts. So again, experiments, it's all about our ability to make causal statements. So just to kind of reiterate your 2 proposals. Proposal 1, it was all about looking at the relationship between variables. Proposal 2, we're manipulating, and manipulating allows us to say cause and effect statements. So we're able to make cause and effect inferences based upon our experimental design. Now the example that I've given so far has been a simple experiment. You can have quite creative and complex experiments. We do that all the time as social researchers, as psychologists researching social phenomena. You may choose to have a factorial design where you have multiple independent variables. You can do that. Obviously, it's more complicated, just like the title of the chapter, complex designs, but you are certainly free to do that. I hope this has cleared up a little bit about experiments, what experiments look like, why we do experiments, and also help you realize how Proposal 1 and Proposal 2 will differ. Now for Proposal 1, I also expect you to have 5 empirical peer-reviewed articles. For Proposal 2, I want you to have 6. So you can use the same research. I do want you to grab at least one other journal article to include in the literature review. Again, the focus is not on the literature review itself. My focus for you is on research design. This is a research methodology class, and I want to make sure that you're able to work with these different designs. I know there's a lot of different designs. Our discussions have revolved around the different designs, and you have, as a class, have done very well with the discussions. Keep it up, and let me know if you have any questions. Somebody asked me to kind of clarify with this video, so I hope that does help and it does clarify any questions that you have. I look forward to Research Proposal 2. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun having you in class. I'll talk to you soon.